Senator Weiler's bill about fines and fees eliminates the ability for the court to order any type of monetary sanction when a young person is referred to the juvenile court system. The purpose of juvenile court is focused on rehabilitation, and so when we're thinking about orders that judges or the probation can do through diversion programs, we need to think about, are we using an order that is actually going to have an impact on making a child change their behavior? When you have a situation where you can be ordered to pay a fine and the fine can be paid that day by a family that has resources to pay it and the case is closed, I'm not sure how meaningful that is to a young person in processing how their behavior got them to the situation that they were in. But the family that doesn't have the ability to pay or doesn't have those resources, the child will be ordered to do community service hours. And those community service hours are spent in providing back to your community and really trying to understand what the impact of your behavior was on your community. Fines that are ordered to young people impact their entire family. I think that's the one thing that we really want to get across when we're talking about fines and fees, is that we think that we've ordered a fine or a fee and that it's making an impact on that young person and what the reason was that that young person came to court. And what we don't understand is it creates a lot of family pressure. The family feels pressure to make sure that the fine gets paid. The young person might feel guilt about the fact that they've put pressure on their family to have an additional financial burden. What we see from talking to young people after the fact is that it had a lot of strain on the family situation and the family dynamic, which obviously doesn't create a more stable situation for a young person. My best guess from working with folks on the fines and fees legislation is that about 50 to 55% of the fines that are ordered are actually paid. When a young person is ordered a fine and someone else pays it for them that day, it has absolutely no rehabilitative effect. The bill eliminates the ability for a police officer to lie or use deception to try and get a child to confess or elicit an incriminating statement from the child. So you could have a young person being interviewed by a police officer, and the police officer might say to them, if you'll just tell me what's happened, or if you'll just tell me what your involvement was, then you'll get to go home. When the reality is the young person's going to go to the detention center. Or they may say, if you just tell me what happens, I can talk to the prosecutor and maybe this will happen. When in reality, the case is going to get referred to the prosecutor and the prosecutor is going to have to make the decision about what to do. Because kids are already so susceptible to authority figures and the stressors of an interrogation, and then you add in lying and deception, the likelihood that you're going to get a false confession is extremely high. Children make up 1/3 of documented false confessions. What message are we sending to young people about why laws and rules are important? When we arrest the wrong person for an offense, we do a disservice to the young person, we do a disservice to the victims, thinking that the case has been resolved, and we do a disservice with regards to community safety. The person who committed the offense is still out there. This is a really important issue, and it's an issue that other states are addressing as well. Illinois and Oregon just passed laws banning the use of this technique in 2021, and other states like New York and Florida have pending legislation on this issue because it is so important. When dealing with young people, we have to remember they are not miniature adults. And so we have to have protections and guardrails in place that acknowledge that and treat them differently.